Today is Monday, January 2nd, 2017, and this is Maelstrom Radio.
Maelstrom Radio. With your hosts, Flatus and Shinder.
And welcome everybody to Maelstrom Radio. My name is Flatus, and with me in the new year, the man whose resolution involved probably not drinking any more maple syrup straight from the tap, Shin.
Welcome to the new year. There we go. We can't speak anyways. Luckily, my New Year's was not that crazy.
You didn't drink maple syrup from a tree?
No, unfortunately not.
I would have.
That's not something that actually goes on here.
It's a shame. Canada, you're missing out. I don't have maple trees in Florida, so I'm assuming they're missing out.
A palm tree. We would definitely trade you some maple trees for weather that supported palm trees.
Why not? Man, well, it's been a couple weeks.
It has been, and like normal, when we take off a couple weeks, all the things happened.
But we knew that. We knew that.
Fair enough.
So, I mean, how was your New Year's? Holidays, all that fun stuff. Good stuff happened. Finished 15.
I actually did not even get a chance to play during the holidays. I was too busy traveling everywhere, visiting family, going to different things.
Same.
Yeah.
I'm off this week, though.
I did, however, get to introduce my family to a lovely little game on the PS4 by the name of Overcooked.
Is that the one where you're like a bunch of people running around a restaurant?
Yeah, you're little tiny chef things, and you go and you have to do things, and you have to work together, which is great when 2 of the 3 players don't know how to play games.
Fantastic.
Very entertaining, highly recommended. It was on sale for the PlayStation sales that they had a couple of weeks ago.
Good to know.
I also picked up Bloodborne.
Because, you know, when you hate yourself, Bloodborne's a good reminder. Or you just like dying. You know, I don't have stress in my life, so I need to play video games that induce it. Speaking of inducing, don't know how that segue happened, but there's some news, and we should probably hop into it because we have a hell of a lot of things to talk about today. So many things. So first and foremost in the news, Heaven's Turn event, December 31st. It started at 7 a.m. and it's going on until January 16th. You can go do it now. Shin and I completed that today. We gathered mochi and we got cock hats, so that's about right. Anything else for that, really? I don't.
Not really.
No.
It was a very entertaining quest to go and do quickly.
Yeah, it was a quick little something nice, something quick. Not as good as Halloween with the haunted house, but something.
To be fair, we have to welcome in the Year of the Cock.
It's true. I do have 2 hats with giant chocobos on it, so that's something. All right.
I'm sorry, I was a little distracted. We forgot to do the tweet.
Oh no.
The tweet is now out there, and hopefully people will see it.
Well, we'll find out. So we got a New Year's greeting from Yoshi P, which
A little cryptic.
little cryptic. Also, would like to point out that they had a drawing of him as a red mage. Also, he was on a mount that we don't have yet, which I suspect is the bird form of the Kieran mount. So if you collect all the burbs, you get that. I'm assuming that's what he's riding, because we don't have that mount. But he did say that he was enjoying his time off and going through playing Final Fantasy 14 just as a normal player, spending time with his friends in the game. But he did get a message from a man wearing a hood that had a poem on it, and that
sounds a lot sketchier when you say it like that.
Well, that's how he wrote it. So
fair enough.
I mean, if strange men in hoods came handing you scrolls, would you read them?
Probably.
All right.
If I was still alive afterwards.
Fair enough. Well, I'm going to read this, and hopefully you don't die. So, look ye where the sun doth rise. See crimson embers darkening skies. Look ye where the sun doth fall. See azure lost amidst the squall. Ancient Eastern proverb. Authored unknown. So, a lot of people on the interwebs, on the Twits, on the Facebooks, on the novice networks and Discords, all overs, were saying that GG Blue Mage confirmed.
Oh, I was reading that, and like the very first time I was reading it, I was like, "Oh yeah, I see what they did there. They have the red and the blue, and in the release video that we saw in Vegas and again in Tokyo, they had the red and the blue energy."
Yes.
I'm not sure why, but right now, it wasn't until you read it that I also remembered about the Azure Dragoon.
The Azure Dragoon. Also remember from FanFest in Vegas that the name for Heaven's Word in Japan is the Azure Skies over Ishgard. So this could mean Blue Mage confirmed. This could mean we're looking towards the rising of our next expansion, and that the sun is finally setting over on Ishgard, because we are finally closing out in 3.5 coming up. It could mean a lot of things. So it would be dumb of myself and Shin to think maybe this isn't a hint at Blue Mage, but it also could just mean something as simple as the curtain is finally closing on the Ishgard storyline, and we're finally making our way towards a war and revolution of Alamigo. So
I do think that it was very well played in that, like, it does make 100% sense, as basically saying like, hey, Stormblood's coming out next year. We're finished with Ishgard, and we're done with Heaven's Word, but also at the same time play against that whole red mage blue mage thing. They're really great at all of those little teasers.
Oh, so good at it. So speaking of 3.5 update previews, cross server party finder, Eggy Glamours, Zervon Battle, Warring Triad, and Belsar's Wall MSQ, all coming in 3.5. That is January
17th, I believe.
17th, yes. Which is a Tuesday? Because usually it's Tuesdays. Always a Tuesday. So we'll be here the 16th telling you all about it. So, please look forward to that.
And there's, if you're interested in any more of those, they do have a whole bunch of blog posts on each of those if you want a quick preview.
Yes. So,
I'm not sure if this is the most important piece of news or not.
The Final Fantasy 14 Fan Festival 2016 Tokyo?
Yeah.
That happened.
I mean, we learned a little bit of stuff from it, right?
A bit. Some things were shown, some gameplays. Some guys with swords maybe showed up and poked things with them from a distance. So, over the break that we had, the Japanese Final Fantasy Fan Festival took place in Tokyo, and I streamed it. I didn't stream it legally onto Twitch. I watched it here at my house. And I was semi-live tweeting, kind of on Twitter, kind of on with the FC chat that we have. And there was some, and we're gonna just talk about that now because there's so much. So we're gonna hop right into it. So what Shin and I did is that we kind of took the Famitsu article that we know that's out there already about the after the show, and we took the actual FanFest and we put them in a blender. We mixed it up. So we're giving you both a review and the Famitsu article. So we're giving you all the information that we can, and so we'll just go ahead and dive right into it. So opening keynote.
There's a lot of information in the opening keynote.
Were you the Cyclops making mochi? Trying to with their big hammer. Famitsu in comparison to Las Vegas. So Famitsu does ask Yoshi P, what was the state of mind change in any way from Vegas to Tokyo? And he said the nervousness didn't change, but I was able to give new information for the upcoming expansion, Stormblood, which is drawing a lot of attention, so I feel relieved as well. Also, the keynote was in Japan, making me able to give information much more directly, as Japanese is my mother tongue. The audience cheered a lot, so I think we were able to pull it off quite well. And that's something I don't think that myself, I never thought, because we knew he was nervous, because he even said it on stage as soon as we roared, and he was like, wow, I didn't expect that. But you can almost tell that he seems a little bit more relaxed on the Tokyo stage, like in a way that like it's his mother tongue, and very very much he could flow it flows a little bit better. I saw that. I just noticed that the body language of somebody.
He probably had a little bit more sleep as well.
There's that as well. Vegas, you tend to stay up and gamble and drink and all that fun stuff.
It's like a 12-hour flight too.
There's that. I'm pretty sure they were there the day before, or a couple of days at least, to get everything set up and test.
12-hour flight, and then a whole bunch of days of setting up that huge event
And gambling.
Yeah.
They asked how the response was. The fan festival started in Vegas. Then we have Tokyo today, and finally we'll have Frankfurt one. You could say that today was the middle point. So January 17, 2015 is also the milestone for the expansion for the game, which is when 3.5 releases. And after that, we'll have the Frankfurt Fan Festival in February, following past 3.5 at Part 2 in March. So I think everything will connect quite smoothly, and I think it went very well in the middle as the middle milestone. And I'll have to agree with him. I think that this FanFest gave it was going to either go one or two ways. I thought maybe that this FanFest is rather going to be very. We knew we were going to get Red Mage. Like it kind of we figured we'll see it, but I didn't think we were going to get as much information as we got. Like I didn't expect the next bit of information. One, we're going to talk about that now, is the Stormblood release. Like when it's actually going to launch. I didn't think we were going to get that yet. I thought maybe at Frankfurt we'd get the release. So right now, tentative, and I have to say that tentative. A lot of that about so far the Stormblood info. Half of it's been released. The rest will be revealed in Frankfurt. Expect players to be more excited after 3.5, which would hold true after 2.5. I think I was more amped up to get to Heaven's Word and start going.
They've also mentioned that there's a lot of spoilers in 3.5, so they can't tell us a lot about Stormblood yet. So having at least the first half of 3.5 before we see what they're releasing in Frankfurt, we should have we should be more well informed and be more hyped up for that event. And then when that event hits, they can just drop all of the information on us, or at least all the stuff that we can find out without spoilers.
Yep. And so the release date, apparently Square knew it was my birthday, because June 18th, and they were like, you know what, June 20th, you're getting a game. And I was like, oh, thanks. So June 20th, 2017 is the tentative release date for Stormblood. Now that could change because it's tentative, but hopefully.
Also, if history shows anything, don't plan to play that exact day because it never really works well.
No.
Very few games have a very smooth launch with no connection issues the day of release.
The computer says no. And the pre-orders begin January 24th, 2017. Now, you're going to say, but Flatus, Shin, pre-orders for just the regular edition of the game? Like, that doesn't, I mean, come on, man. I could just be able to walk into my local Best Buy, just go grab a copy and just be, but bro, lady bros, dude bros. They announced the collector's edition and at FanFest, and we got to see what that entailed.
And it entails quite a bit more than normal.
Yes, it does. Shin, go ahead and take what the physical items are.
You will find in the physical items for the collector's edition some special packaging featuring original art by, and I'm sorry, I don't actually know who this is.
Yoshitaka Amano?
Yeah, I'm assuming that they are involved with Final Fantasy in some way, but I'm not sure what they've done.
He does all the art for the mainline series.
That would probably be why it's really special packaging.
Mm-hmm.
I don't play Final Fantasy games often.
No.
That is one of my resolutions. I'm playing 14. I'm playing 15. I have a whole bunch of the other ones now. I'm going to slowly play them.
He's guys, don't worry. He's slowly becoming one of us.
We also get a high quality figure of Xenos Ye Galvas, the Legatus of the 7th Legion.
12.
Also the big bad for the expansion, so that's kind of exciting. We are going to get an art book of Stormblood art, a cloth map of Eorzea, and an original decal, something that you put in a car window or something similar to that.
And that's the Legatus of the 12th Legion.
Oh, is that 12?
Yeah.
That's
it's okay. Yeah, I learned all my
There's a few typos in these names.
Yeah, there was. Also, I learned all my Roman numerals from Final Fantasy.
I apologize.
It's okay. Fun fact for you: all the Legatus, they are all based off the Final Fantasy games. So, like, 14 was Xeno, or they're not Xeno, but damn, what the hell's
Belsar?
Yes. Belsar, Mr. Belsar.
The guy that we killed.
Yeah, that dude. Who supposedly is dead. He was new to 14, but like, so I expect this to have some tie-ins with Final Fantasy 12. Spoilers for further down on the road of this podcast. So there are some digital items coming with this as well. We're gonna get the soldier mount. The soldier mount, think Nessie. Think the Loch Ness monster, plesiosaur. I think is what that would like a plesiosaur. It's like it's got flippy flaps and a fat type body, and it's got a little snake neck thing. There's somebody out there that's like, it's called a plesiosaur, you jerk. I can't help. It's got a wind-up Bart's minion who's riding his little chocobo, so that's awesome. And also, we get a glamour item. We get the chicken knife.
I think that's my favorite item in the entire group.
So, Red Mage, by the way, Red Mage confirmed. The chicken knife is a glamour item that actually has its own like sound effects, like special sound effects. So it's kind of one of those things where I was like, God, I kind of wish they did something for all of the classes. But
your sword already talks to you, so
yeah, but it doesn't make special sound effects.
In your head, it does.
Yeah, because I go wee 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 wee. Pew, pew. We're getting swimming and diving.
It remains to be seen how this is done. It could go well, or it could horribly fail.
It could. Well, we don't have load screens. It's a little splash effect on the screen. Like we get some bubbles, and then also we're swimming.
Get splash screens.
Yes, we do get a splash screen. That's exactly what it is. We get a splash screen, and then certain a realm reborn worlds will have swimming. Some areas will have this. Not shallow water won't. So there's that. But I like this. That kind of opens up the world a little bit, especially the old world where I didn't think they'd have a little bit of cash to throw at it, but they're making it work. So less invisible walls, more us going. Yeah.
It does make a little sense to give places like Costa del Sol a swimming area, right? Like
people go there to splash in the water anyway.
Exactly. It makes sense from a strong lore perspective. It makes sense from a lot of different things that you would have access to these places in water to swim to go around.
Now, does this mean that the Limsa Lemons housing area gets swimming because they do have beachfront property?
That would be kind of awesome, but I think the official word on that is we're not sure yet. We do get to know that the desk housing zone will be released in Frankfurt, though.
I'm just gonna say, like, that happens. They have to put like a pool in for the goblet.
I think it's too hot.
Wait, for a pool? Or like an oasis, maybe?
Maybe get an oasis.
I would like an oasis. Give us an oasis.
We do have that little pond right next to our house.
Yeah, but that's
It's not deep enough, though.
I can't. We can't. That's more like a. It's retain. I don't know. I want to swim in that. It's probably gross.
Maybe if we get Ishgardian housing, they'll have flying in there.
Remember, that would be nice. We'll move. We'll have to move. Get a bigger house. Fit more shit in there. So diving is separate. It's only in deep water, and those will only be in the 4.0 areas. They are going to have no drowning, so we don't have to worry. They explain it as Aor's there's a world full of magic, so therefore you can't drown because of magic. Why not? I'll give it to him. Like in Harry Potter, you can turn your head into a shark and swim around under lakes. What the hell? Who am I to say that this doesn't exist? But they did create a special animation. So if you are hit with a dot or something over time and you run into the water, they have a special animation. So I'm hoping that I get to drown. So I can't drown physically, but if I die in the water, I hope I just look like I did.
I have a feeling that we're going to die in the water at some point.
Yes, you and I will probably die in the water. The movement is slightly slower than on land, but flying mounts can swim and dive.
I really want to see my turtle mount dive.
I kind of want to see
spins.
I kind of want to see my whisper mount. my little tug go boat. It's gonna be my favorite underwater. Whee!
That's just gonna be terrible.
It's so bad. Only flying mounts can swim and dive, by the way. So just keep that in mind. No land mounts. NPCs, gathering, and fishing available underwater. So I'm assuming they're adding some new types of nodes to go gather some underwater minerals that we can go get, some underwater like kelp, maybe. I don't know, for gather, like, I don't know. Fishing, I think spearfishing would be kind of cool, like a new type of form of fishing. That would be kind of like, or like.
I want to be able to roast my fish.
Yeah, like get a little fire pit going out on the beach, going to the water with a little spear. I'd like that. That'd be awesome. Required by the MSQ, but nothing else. But there is diving exclusive content, so maybe dungeons? Question mark. So
it did say specifically, like, you do not have to go diving apart from the main storyline quest to do anything.
Yep.
But there will be stuff that's only in diving, so we'll have to see.
Well, one thing that we know, like, A Realm Reborn had some extra dungeons. That'd be kind of cool. There were like dungeons you can only access to get through like a side quest that was only solely underwater. I would thoroughly enjoy that. As long as it's not the water temple from Ocarina of Time from N64. Fuck that dungeon.
Raise the water level, raise it again, lower
no.
it, raise it, lower it, lower it, raise it, lower it.
Get it out of here. It's not wanted.
I'd be okay with something like Jabu Jabu's belly. Get eaten by a giant fish.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Shin, you want to take what the new beast tribe is going to be?
Yeah, so we have a new beast tribe who are the Ananta. They are female only. They're an underwater race inhabiting the mountains near Alamigo and are currently being oppressed by the Garleans. Surprise, surprise here. Garleans like to oppress everyone, not just the Eorzeans. They have been around for quite a while. They've been around since the Allagans, so they're definitely a very old group. And to see how the Allagans kind of abused them as well, you can look at the Lamias that are around in the world. They're kind of like the evil, abused versions, I guess, of them.
I guess you would say the experimented on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their goddess, Lakshmi, is the Lady of Bliss, based on the Hindu god of wealth and fortune. Since they're all female, I know a lot of our male listeners are like, "Oh yeah, female beast tribe." But guys, the bottom half is snake or snake-like. So cloaca. That's your thing. I don't judge, but.
On that topic, I think we have a new setting for the Aqua Gleam Hunter Force, though.
The mountains near Alamega. Because it's not.
No.
Don't say cloaca. It's not cloaca. Unless you're saying cloaca is a land.
No, I was saying that the Ananta are like the perfect people for the Aqua Gleam Hunter Force. They can be they can help with the magical girl thing of Aqua.
Oh yeah, no,
Come
I'm with you. Yeah, I got you. I'm with you now. I know. I've said cloaca too many times this episode. It's uncomfortable now. I'm gonna move on to music. Moving on to music. So
this is probably my favorite part of the expansion launch, not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's actually really good. So we did find out that the main theme is being produced by Nobuo Uematsu. The theme this time will be a little more up-tempo than Answers and Dragon Song, and it will be released at Fan Festival EU.
Still going to be as emotional as the other ones, though.
Yes, it's going to have a lot of emotion, but it is going to be very upbeat. So I do like an up-tempo but emotional type song. As we know, Uematsu is very good with providing that sort of sound that a Final Fantasy main theme can only deliver when you get this iconic themes. So, there is no set word yet if Miss Susan Calloway is tapped to sing for this song, but we do know that she was invited to Tokyo Fan Fest and Square, and her working relationship is really like blossoming. And so I would think that if someone was going to sing lyrics for an up-tempo theme song for an MMO, Square Enix's, I think Susan Calloway would probably 99.9% probably be the lady.
Also know that she's actually going to be at FanFest Frankfurt as well.
Yes, she will be. Also, to let you know, Uematsu did say in a video at FanFest that the song is about 60% done. And that he will be at FanFest EU. So I'm kind of bummed out that we did not get Uematsu at FanFest in Vegas, but he also wasn't at Tokyo. So bites. So.
Kind of want to be at all three of the fan fests because they all sound like a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
One day, if we win the lottery, maybe that can be a thing.
It could be. They did. Oh man, I'm telling you, they had towels and blankets and stuff inside the claw catchers at. Oh man, I'm so bummed. I wish I would have gone to Tokyo. Like I'm pretty good at claw catchers. I'm pretty good at those things. I could have won blankets. Anyway, so speaking of blankets, and
great segue there.
Yeah, I don't know how that's. I didn't know how I was gonna. Speaking of high-end blankets, high-end rating. Shin, what's gonna be our new high-end rating 4.0?
It's a machine. Actually, wait, isn't that what we're currently doing with the whole claw with the hand, Alexander?
Uh-huh. Kind of. I mean, can also maybe... Yeah. Fists of the Father... No. Somebody's listening right now is just, like, shaking their head. They're like, oh, dear God. Hey, Rubicon Vales in chat. Hey, Ruby.
So, yeah, we're getting a couple new raids coming along in 4.0. The new high-end rating stuff is the Bend of Time Omega, which sounds like it's been... teased and talked about before, but I'm really not familiar with it, having not done any of the real rating content yet. That's another goal for 2017.
No, it's the thing. That happened. We saw some of this.
Well, yes, but
talking about Omega as a thing. It's okay. Don't worry about it. So, speaking of alliance raids, speaking of 12, well, I said earlier that 12 was the thing that we'd probably pay attention to, and I said spoilers and whatnot. So, apparently, we're going to return to Ivalice, and Ivalice is the land that Final Fantasy 12 came from.
That explains why everyone was really excited when they announced it.
Yeah, a little bit. It's also was the... So for this, we have two special guest creators. We have Yasumi Matsuno, who is the game designer and plot scripting. Worked on Tactics Ogre, Let Us Cling Together, Final Fantasy Tactics, Final Fantasy 12, Vagrant Story. He's excited to bring the themes of Ivalice to Final Fantasy 14. A little thing, though. I do not want to see my Final Fantasy 12 characters so much. Those characters in Final Fantasy 14. Well... Except, the Vera. I do want to see bunny ladies. Bring those in. I'm okay with that. I do enjoy me some bunny women. I don't know what's going with that. And we have Kieta Amemiya. I probably butchered that name. Illustrator and creator designer, boss design for the Return to Ivalice. He did the anime, worked on the anime Garo, Clock Tower 3, Onimusha 2 and 3, by the way. Onimusha 2 and 3 was fantastic. He also worked on Shin Megami Tensei 4. Sweet mercy, I almost blew that up. Rubicon in chat, 12 getting a big push in 2017, Zodiac Age, Return of Ivalice, Ariana Grande, Vera, Exvius. Yeah, I hear Final Fantasy 12 is so hot right now. It's big time stuff. Shin, do you know that 2017? I know what happens in 2017 for Final Fantasy.
I think it's some important date.
Ariana Grande is it's the biggest thing. No,
that is true. That is a huge thing.
Yeah.
We are getting Bloodstorm, Stormblood. I'm just gonna stop talking now.
You mean the Final Fantasy 30th anniversary, that one?
Which that's not quite as big.
Oh, as Ariana Grande showing up in Brave Exvius. Final Fantasy 30th anniversary. And this is from the Famitsu article, Yoshi P. You mentioned that the 30th anniversary, when talking about Red Mage, what kind of a year do you want to make it for Final Fantasy 14? And Yoshi replies, with Stormblood, we are aiming for a new level rather than aiming for stability.
Innovation.
Exactly. Final Fantasy 14 still isn't finished, and there's still a lot of attractions we want to add to the game. I don't know if that's a theme park joke that he tried to make. We are challenging ourselves to satisfy the needs of our current generation of games, as well as players, so we look at ourselves as challengers. I think Stormblood will be the first title to mark the 30th anniversary, so we want to release it with that in our minds as well. That to me is big time stuff. Like that's the guy who's saying, like, listen, I'm your director, I'm your producer, and the first Final Fantasy game out the gate, right, for the 30th anniversary is Stormblood, and I mean, listen, it's not Exvius, that's already out.
7?
Does 7 pop out before that?
I thought 7's supposed to be in spring 2017. At least the first part.
Is it? I don't know.
This will be the first new Final Fantasy game.
Maybe. I don't know, Shin. They pushed back 15.
By a month.
Boop, fixing your camera. Done fixing your camera.
My camera break.
You're fine. You're a little bloated, hanging off to the side. I fixed you.
It's this side.
Yeah, it sounds. You're okay now. You're good. And I trimmed you up. I gave you a little. Thanks, Rubicon Vale. Thanks, guy. Go have good luck in raid. Kill big monsters. Let them know that you mean business.
Preferably not your tank.
I mean, you could show
Don't kill your
you
tank.
could show the raid bosses the business, not the tank, unless the tank gives you permission. Always make sure that. Where am I going with this? I'm gonna shut up. Garo collaboration.
And on the topic of killing other people.
Why do you let me? Sometimes I think you want to see how far I'll go before I catch myself.
Well, it was kind of working nicely with the whole, you're killing your tank, you're killing everybody, you're digging yourself a hole. And the Garo collaboration is a big PvP collaboration. It worked.
Sure, I'll get. Why
It was
not?
a lot better than your whole blanket to rating one. That didn't go so well.
That. What are you talking about? I wrapped it up nicely. I bundled it up. I bundled it together. I bundled those two things together. No, still.
See, that would have been worked better for like the whole collector's edition thing.
Oh, okay. We're making blanket puns. we took a break for 2 weeks and we come back. We're making blanket puns. Welcome to 2017.
Better than what we had in 2016.
Yeah, it's 2017 Maelstrom Radio blanket puns. Oh man. Anyway, the Garo collaboration is coming with 3.5 actually. So this is going to be longer than the Yokai event. We're also expecting that the only way to obtain these two things is through the gold saucer for the gear and one of the mounts. And I believe the other two mounts and gear is through PvP. Now, what's big... Now, we discussed this on our last episode, but just to give you guys a reminder that the biggest change to PvP is coming and that the Grand Company restrictions being lifted. So now PvP queue times will probably go down to nothing. And with this this event happening, that PvP queue times should be going like that. And I'm really excited because the only dyeable gear for the Garo gear is, guess what, in PvP. So if you're excited about getting some gear, some new glamours that actually look really awesome, like they did a really good job on this gear, guys, and the mounts look fantastic. So this is something you really want to do. Even if you don't PvP, get your friends together, make a night out of it, group up with your FC, just work on getting some wolf marks and get your stuff.
Running a couple of the PvP stuff a few months ago, it's pretty easy to get into. It's not overly challenging, and the players are pretty friendly. There wasn't too much of people yelling at me for not knowing what I'm doing, following the wrong person, dying all the time. Yeah,
I think our biggest issue with it was the queue times. I think that was our only issue with PvP, is just the queue times. And with that going down, hopefully then we'll see. You might even see us stream some PvP. So speaking of teasing us and streaming and stream webbing, Spider-Man. I did not nail one of these transitions tonight. None of them. So they were discussing Red Mage on stage, and he's like, "Hey, let's watch a video." And he goes out, and he comes right back, and Yoshi P's wearing a SpiderMan shirt. So Spider class confirmed. Stormblood.
Arachnid.
So some of the so real quick, this is how we're gonna go. So some of the guesses were Sam Raimi, who's the director for the first three Spider-Man movies. Sam Raimi, Samurai. That's yeah. No, I don't think it is. I don't know. Blue Mage? Why not? Blue Mages, how did they get their powers? Through beasts. How did Spider-Man get through his powers? Spider bite. Spider bite ya. Spider bite. Or confirmation of photography class, Prompto class.
This would be my personal favorite. If we had a photography class, I would drop everything and main that.
Oh.
I'd love just to run around taking pictures the whole time, so everyone actually does real work.
Yes. So this also means that Samurai Spider-Man is a thing. That is a thing in Japan. There is a limited run action figure and comic of Spider-Man, Samurai Spider-Man. So
coincidentally, they announced it in Japan.
They did. Now, here's the thing. Here's something that, yet again, like I've said on the show before, that sometimes Shin and I don't know what the fuck we're talking about, but sometimes we do.
Very rarely we do.
Knock something out of the park. And here's something. What if Yoshi P said, they know that I'm going to walk on stage with the shirt, but what absolutely if I walked out on stage and was giving them 2 hints for 2 jobs with 1 shirt? Why not give us the Spider-Man Blue Mage shirt? Why not Sam Raimi Samurai the shirt? Why not give us both? Why not say that these 2 things are coming? It would be interesting. It would be a different way of saying, hey guys, guess what? I gave you 2 clues in 1. And that's why a lot of people are split down the middle. It could mean Samurai. It could mean Blue Mage. It doesn't mean fucking Dancer, I'll tell you that, but it does. But
you never know, actually. Like in the Famitsu interview there, they asked him, you wore a Spider-Man t-shirt today, and the director for the Spider-Man movies is Sam Raimi. So does that mean, and usually a reply that Spider-Man has a few movies and there isn't only one director. It might be a, quote, Spider-Weber. I stated earlier that we will implement jobs true to the Final Fantasy series, so you might argue, what do you mean Spider-Weber? Anyways, please do speculate. And if he's talking about a Spider-Weber, that could be something completely different. That could be dancing with the things and web.
Please go on. I want to see where you're going. No.
We're already stretching a lot of these definitions.
Please, no, Sherlock. Take me through. I need to know your line of thinking with this web thing. I'm with you, buddy. You and me together on this.
But you know the weapons that the dancer uses. They're kind of like the streamer type things. They have them attached to them.
Yeah, like the dancing like rope. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, they can kind of, those, it's kind of like rope or like the streamers or something. They can use that to web or to drape over things or to hit things with or shoot out. Like,
so they're gonna.
It's a stretch, but
they're gonna BDSM their.
It wouldn't be the first time that we have. What year is it?
2017. Merry New Year!
No. What's the year in the game?
Oh, I don't know. Like it's something Astral Era? 7th Astral Era? Man, I don't know. Heaven's Turn? It's the... Wait, you're typing it out. I'm gonna read it. It's the year of the cock. Okay, no, I got you. It's the year of the cock. So... So the dancer's gonna grapefruit our foes to death? If you get that reference, someone's gonna listen back to this and laugh hysterically, or they'll be like, "I am never going to I don't even want to download this." Anyway, please do speculate. I think
we're speculating, all right.
We did speculate. So, all right. So here's the deal. We do know Red Mage was announced. I don't want to do. I do want to just touch on it because I think next week what we want to do is Shin and I want to dig into this and kind of take what we saw and see how close we were to kind of describing how this thing would work and actually maybe try to build a class that is working because we don't know too much. But all right, so things we
have a lot of ideas on what a Red Mage could be. Yes,
and here are some of the things that that I do want to touch on real quick. So we do know that the Red Mage has no base class. It starts at 50. Tentative. It's a ranged magic DPS class. The weapon is a rapier plus a magic crystal medium. If that's a tentative naming item. I think they should call it a floaty. Maybe not. Maybe I shouldn't name things.
Rapier the floaty?
Yeah, rapier and a floaty.
We are getting swimming and diving.
We are getting swimming and a floater. Yeah. No main attribute. Gonna start leaving upper decker jokes. No main attribute mentioned. Art in-game renders, featured job-specific equipment. So, what we do know real quick, so if you guys probably saw the video, I'm not going to post the video because that video is something you had to pay for at FanFest. So when they take the magic crystal medium, the Red Mage takes it, flips over its rapier, and then attaches it to the top to essentially make it a staff. And then so what the video we saw is they do their magic, and then they dash in close and go pop, 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 pop with the rapier and bounce back out, and all of a sudden a bunch of magic goes off, and then boom. And if you go to YouTube, you can probably find that video. If you've got the stream, you saw that video. And I will going to leave it at that, because everything else we're going to dive into I think next week with some other stuff, and maybe even touch in a little bit maybe on like a samurai class and a blue mage class a little bit on next week's show. So right now, guys, Shin, closing thoughts, FanFest, Japan, everything that had happened over the last couple of weeks. I mean,
unfortunately, I didn't get to watch the stream live. I didn't purchase the stream, but I did follow along on some of the live blogs and was chatting with people as it was going through. There was a lot of information, a lot of surprising information. I definitely did not expect a release date, particularly in hindsight with what they did last time when they actually had to push back the release a little bit. I figured they would give themselves a little bit more flexibility, but end of June is, I guess, it's a little bit longer than the previous one, so it's still fine.
Yeah, I mean, Heaven's Word was supposed to state for release around May, and they pushed it back a month. So
it's the same time frame now.
Actually, we are probably in the same time frame. I believe it was released around the same time, maybe a week out later or a couple days later. So I'm saying, I'm excited, super excited.
Really excited to talk about Red Mage next week, because I think there's a lot there, and especially with all of our theory crafting from last year, we can get some really good information on the Red Mage, even though we don't know a lot yet.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping that they do a 30th anniversary event, but I would guess that might be sometime around August when they actually do their anniversary event. I could see them tying in both the 30th anniversary and the 4th year anniversary of Final Fantasy: A Realm Reborn.
Yes. Now, I will say this, knowing that the 30th anniversary is this year for Final Fantasy, we do have to kind of look at the game, not only Final Fantasy 14, but where Final Fantasy is through the ages. I mean, 15 just came out. Brave Exvius is probably one of the, for a free Final Fantasy game on the mobile, it's probably one of my favorite mobile games. I mean, for Ariana Grande showing up, guys. You know, I don't know what that means to me, but she's showing up as Avira. That's cool. I don't know. I'm excited. Like I am super excited for this year. I'm super excited for Final Fantasy 14, Stormblood. I'm excited that Yoshi P is already stating, like, you know, we're not even gonna rest on our laurels. We have to innovate. We have to push. We know from Japanese FanFest that they are gonna make the Stormblood dungeons and raids feel like Final Fantasy dungeons and raids. I'm hoping that they took some of the stuff from Aquapolis and Palace of the Dead. Traps. I would love to see traps in normal dungeons. I would love to see puzzles. I would love to see stuff maybe we have to figure out.
It'd be terrifying if we had traps.
Oh my god. Wouldn't it be a little more terrifying? It'd be so much more fun with traps a little bit. Like a little more, watch your footing. So I am excited. I am excited for the underwater exploration, opening up the world a little bit more. It's going to be a big year for Final Fantasy, which is exciting for me as a big Final Fantasy fan. And same for Shin. Shin, you know, was a guy who played a lot of EverQuest and other MMOs and RPGs, and he took a chance.
Now needs to play more Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, and now he listened to me. And now he's like, I kind of have to want to do more of this. So, I'm thoroughly excited. I don't know how else to say it, but I'm like so excited. Final Fantasy has been a big part of my life for as long as I remember, because I've owned a lot of gaming systems, and most of them were Nintendo, and I played a lot of Final Fantasy games because they were the best bang for buck, and I liked to read when I was a kid, and kind of mixed my joy of playing video games and reading when I was younger. So I am...
Definitely have to read in Final Fantasy games.
It's true. Not anymore too much. I mean, Final 14, yes. 15 was a lot of... Hello. Hello there. There's anything we missed? I don't think we missed anything. Cigaro. We did the teaser for the Spider-Man. Red Mage is next week. I'm just making sure. I don't want to like leave and then us forget and be like, we forgot something.
I think that wraps up most of what I remember from the information that we got.
Yeah. There was a live letter done as well for and we'll probably throw some of that in. Anything that we know that wasn't a rehash from part 1. Any new information we'll throw in next week. Probably before we dive into Red Mage, so that way we can give you that news. So other than that, guys, it was one hell of a fan fest. Like I said, I was really, really shocked. You could still go by the stream if you missed it. If you did find a way, if you watched it with a friend or they gave you their information to log in and do it. I'm not saying what you did was right, but I'm gonna shame you. You're a bad person. But thank you for listening and watching us, because, we love you anyway. The internet may not. So, next week, Red Mage. Week after that, I don't know. We'll just, week
after that will be pre-patch note week.
Holy crap. Oh, man. Look at that. It's already guys. It's already 2017, and it's like, we're already like, oh, man, 3 weeks will already be... You know what? I have that day off, too. I don't have the next day off, but I have that day. So, show will be ready. Show will be ready that day. All right, guys. Well, let me do one of these and click on one of those and click on one of these.
Gotta click everything.
I do. So, well, that's it. Our first episode of 2017. Episode 18 of Maelstrom Radio is locked in the bag. For Shinter, I am Flatus. Until Sea Swallows All, we'll see you next time.
Maelstrom Radio is a production of MaelstromRadio.com and Blackfire Media Productions. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are trademarks of Square Enix. Opening theme provided by Benjamin Anthony James. You can find more of his music at soundcloud.com/Ben773. Outro music provided by Sodo. You can find more of their music at soundcloud.com/Sodo. Views and opinions expressed on this episode are those of Maelstrom Radio and their hosts, and do not reflect the views and opinions of Square Enix. And until Sea Swallows All, keep listening.